And the move from back in 2011 to where we hit in December 2013, right? This here was 35,000% gain. What is going on, crypto peeps? Welcome back to the Traveling Crypto. We do see a healthy mini revival in the markets with most of the top coins seeing double-digit percentage gains in USD value. Notably, Bitcoin is up 12.5% over the last 24 hours. Now, we did make healthy profits on a Bitcoin long, a leveraged long position on Bitmex, and I'll get into that in a second. The biggest gainer in the last 24 hours was Tron, 27%. Looking at the chart of Tron, I don't know, whether this was an orchestrated pump or an actual rally, but either way, that is the biggest gainer in the top 20 in the last 24 hours. Neo was another one, which, was basically dying until then. All right, so looking at Bitcoin's chart, here is how we played a leveraged long on Bitmex and made 97% on 10x leverage. So I don't like to enter longs or shorts until we have multiple tests or rejections of support and resistance levels. But Bitcoin looked ripe for a mini rally. And I said this in my video yesterday, as well as analysis on Twitter and in the Discord over the last few days. But this divergence here was offering a juicy setup that was too good to pass up. So you had the price making lower lows, the RSI continually making higher lows for the same exact points. And then you see the divergence also existing higher lows on the MACD as well as the VFI. And we have multiple tests of this support level and bounces off of it, right? This is the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin. Now, when you see this, along with the bullish divergence, then you can safely enter positions at certain points, right? So I picked this resistance level over the last few candles here, over the last 5 candles or so here. And if we closed above this, then I would enter a position considering that we have a confluence from other indicators as well. We entered a position at around 3,700 and used this right here, this resistance level at around 4,000. This was my initial exit point. I was going to exit at this resistance level of 4,000 here. The price kept moving up, and so I picked this resistance level that you see here at around 4,100 as the next point. And we exited our position at 4,100 with 10x leverage that is 97%. If you want access to the trade alerts, and that includes longs and shorts, link is in the description. On the trade alerts, I also sent out my list of coins that I'm looking at for the long term. You'll see that here. There's a list of around 7 coins that I think have massive potential over the long term. Obviously, a lot of coins do. It's not just these 7 coins, but I don't like to hold too many coins at once in my portfolio because that becomes unmanageable. And you don't want to spread yourself too thin because if, a couple coins see a rally, if you're diversified into 20 coins, for instance, there won't be enough in those coins to where it makes an impact on your portfolio. You don't want to spread yourself too thin. All right, so where do I think Bitcoin is going? Well, if you see this on the 4-hour, this has formed a double bottom, which was also another point of confirmation as to why I entered that long position. You see Bitcoin has formed that double bottom. We have rallied from that, and this is where the clear resistance is right now at around 4,250. It was a point of support at one point, right? And then there was a support resistance flip, and now it is our resistance. So clearly we need to break above 4,250 and close above that for us to see another rally or have a chance at a further rally, at which point 4,500 will be the next logical resistance point up, not only because of the round number bias, but because it was a heavy point of resistance a week ago. Do I think we'll get there? Well, it really depends on what the volume looks like on this move up. If that is really the tried and true way of assessing whether the bounce is a dead cat bounce or a bull trap, right, is by the volume. If we don't have accompanying volume with the moves up, then those will tend to break down rather quickly, especially in a market crash. So keep this volume indicator up and keep monitoring it. But yeah, so the bullish position is if we close above 4250, we could see a rally to 4500. And if we continue to get rejected here, we could see a move down. You guys are probably familiar with my long-term outlook on Bitcoin by now, but there is a path down to at least 2,800 over the next year or so if we don't get some of these life-changing fundamentals such as backed or a physically backed ETF, et cetera, et cetera. You could see on the 1 month chart that we are bouncing off of the 50-month EMA here. This is not a coincidence. If we close below this, then the move towards 3K and possibly below becomes more realistic. Now, just keep in mind that, we can hit 2,800 and we'll still be on an uptrend, riding this white trend line here if we do hit 2,800. And I get this question a lot, but a lot of people are asking whether it's possible that we see another bullish rally like we saw at the end of 2017. And I just want to keep your mind open to something. This Bitcoin chart goes all the way back to 2011, right? To the summer of 2011. So this right here is, a 7-year chart. And the move from back in 2011 to where we hit in December 2013, right? This here was 35,000% gain. So we went from $3 to $11.50, 1,150. This is a 35,500% gain, right? That to me is a lot less likely than the rally that we saw, at the beginning of 2015 when we exited the last bear market to the end of 2017, the bull rally that most of you are aware of, and probably most of you have entered the crypto market during the bull rally of the end of 2017. That move was only around 6,000% only. But yes, the initial move up was a lot less likely and more formidable, more incredible than the move that we saw at the end of 2017. And you'll see markets, if you look at the stock market over a long term, or really any market that has a long history, you do see these repeating cycles, right? You see these bubbles formed and then a bubble pop, and then these bubbles formed, and so on and so forth. So if this bear market lasts as long as the last one, that will take us out to October. Obviously, it could last, it could last shorter, or it could last longer than the last one. We don't have to follow the exact same path. We just analyze previous history to know what is possible based off of precedent. So we could very likely go until October 2019 in a bear market, all the way down to 2,800 or possibly below, or some of these things can come in, early 2019, like a physically backed ETF, etc. And that could spark the next reversal. But I just want to keep your perspective that, that the previous bull rally was a lot more incredible than the one that we saw in 2017. All right, a couple of news items here. You'll see Coinbase quietly opened its OTC crypto trading desk this month. OTC stands for over the counter. It's basically where institutional investors and traders that have a large amount of capital can make huge trades. Usually this comes with a limit, whether it's $250,000 per transaction or whatever. But they basically can initiate huge trades, buys and sells, over the counter away from the exchange, and that way it doesn't have a huge effect on the market, because especially with a low volume young market like crypto, you can spark as well. I'm sure you guys are aware of this. You can easily move the market with large transactions. So these over the counter or OTC trading desks assist with traders making large transactions off of the exchange so that it doesn't affect the price negatively or positively in a drastic manner, right? So this is actually good. We want to have as many OTC trading desks as possible. Circle, which is backed by Goldman Sachs, is another one that is available, and the minimum ticket size for that is $250,000 per transaction, I believe. So you want to have as many of these as possible to give investors an outlet to be able to engage in large transactions without affecting us small fries. And then the only other pertinent story that I found today was that Nasdaq is still planning on launching Bitcoin futures in 2019. We do have Bitcoin futures today, and I don't want you guys to confuse this with backed either. So this is, I guess that this is positive news that, Nasdaq is still looking to offer to traditional investors a way to engage in Bitcoin speculation. And the more of these financial instruments we have that are backed by Bitcoin and by crypto, the better, right? Because it just brings more visibility into the market. Obviously, you can short futures. It doesn't always have to be a positive long position, but you can do that currently on Bitmex, right? So yeah, that is the outlook on crypto for today. If you want access to the trade alerts as well as the Bitmex alerts, link is in the description. If you got anything out of this video, thumbs up, leave a comment. If you have a question, an agreement, a disagreement, leave it in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Stay safe out there. Peace.